Hello and welcome to Down Home, South Dakota. I'm Linda Hagedorn, and yes, I've been around before. I can't begin to tell you how honored I am to be the host of this show where we have guests, a theme, and an opportunity to bring faith, family, friends, food, and fun together. You know, it's really great living in South Dakota where we have the change of the seasons, and today we're going to visit the farmer's market. Oh, so nice uniform. This is the kind my husband likes. But they are. With the farmer's market theme, I immediately thought of some folks I wanted you to meet. Everyone who gardens undoubtedly have their own way of doing things, so to speak, but I believe this might amaze you. Martha and Roger Quam have been our friends since we first came here in 1976. I've always known they were talented in a variety of ways. Today, I share an invitation to meet Martha and Roger.
About 20 years ago, I woke up one morning and I heard about some of our friends, their marriages kind of going different ways. And I said, you know what? As I grow old, I'm going to have to find something that I can do with my wife, you know. And so I thought, gee, why don't I garden? And she kind of laughed at me, so I started growing peppers. And by George, she said that was pretty good. And so from then on, I was hooked, and now I've become a fanatic, and she thinks I need to cut back and all kinds of stuff like that. But instead of going someplace separately for a vacation, we go together and we find seed shows, places where they grow gardens and stuff like that, and get some ideas. And we'll go out and drink coffee and discuss what we're going to have in the garden next year, that type of thing. We decided we had a choice between a green garden and a green grass, but a garden we can eat, but grass we can't eat. So we let the garden go. Well, we've got tomatoes, we've got peppers, we got onions, we got cucumbers. Squash, what else? Beans. Asparagus. Herbs, we got about 40 kinds of herbs. Basil, some sweet basil, and I got some curry that I'm drying right now. This is lemongrass here. But I dry them and then I put them in jars and we use them for cooking and stuff. In about a week we'll be putting a net over this because we don't want the robins to get them. The robins will devastate them. Here's our carrot bed. This is our carrot bed. Plants just love classical music. In fact, I've talked to them. And the hot peppers, they just love the music of Aaron Copland. Here's the, after the leaves and grass sit for a year or so. Yeah. Now I'm going to dig this one out this fall. That's pure gold, that's compost. Look at that. Now, I've got a screen up there that I have to screen them because it comes from the neighbors, and I screen out army men, rubber balls, cap guns, spoons, various things, because they play with them in the grass, they rake the leaves, and they bring it over in garbage cans and throw them in there. So I have to screen it. You'll notice they're 2x4s, and they all go all the way to the ground. So then after I build them in the fall, the neighbors come over with all their grass clippings, all their leaves, and they throw them in there, and I pour water on them, and I stamp them down. Sometimes Martha gets up there and jumps with me. Oh, okay. And then they come over the next weekend and put some more on there, and that keeps going for about a month and a half. And finally we got that thing so packed with leaves and grass, and then we leave it over the winter. In the spring, then we put in about 4 or 5 inches of dirt on top, and that's where we grow our peppers. Now during the year, it'll go down about that much because it decomposes. See here how this has gone down? This was up the top here, but it's gone down because it's decomposed. The fall of the year, then we take the dirt off, put it in the garbage can, bring in some more leaves and grass and put it on there, and then the next spring we put more dirt down there. We do this for 3-4 years. Soon the wood rots out, or we decide to dig it out. We dig out and we got one big solid chunk of compost. Well, what we want people to do is to garden in their backyard. And you don't need a big space to do it, as you can see. You can use raised beds, you can use buckets, that type of thing, but you do have to have sun. So if you got a lot of trees in your yard, you better hire a tree trimmer to come over and trim some branches off so you get the sun down, because all this stuff needs sun. Also, you got to water, and if you're not careful, you'll spend a fortune watering. In our case, we conserve by making sure the water that we do put into the plant gets down to the roots, and that's the reason for the tin cans. My name is Roger Quam, and I'm an urban gardener. And I believe that you can grow lots of things to eat in your backyard. Or if you're on the roof of a high-rise, you still can do that.
Salads are an invitation or a complement to the meal, or the meal itself. A favorite recipe of mine has been buttons and bows salad, which I will prepare for you today. It is so important to get your fresh produce from the market or the garden, to properly store it, ensuring that you will serve the very best nutritional value you can to your table.
First, I'm going to do the carrots.
1 cup of thinly sliced carrots.
We'll peel them and slice them so that they look like buttons. Now it's time to slice the carrots. These are the carrot buttons for our salad, but as I cut them, I always think about the recipe for copper pennies. That's another good salad for this time of year. For this salad, it's good to have a variety of colors and textures. So squash are the next things I will prepare, and they have the yellow summer squash and also zucchini. Much of the nutrition of our fruits and vegetables is in the peeling, so when I can, I like to leave that on. These actually look like gold coin buttons.
This recipe will give you much flexibility as to the taste preferences that you and your family appreciate. 1 cup of sliced zucchini, 1 cup of sliced cucumbers,
'From this beautiful bouquet from the farmer's market, I'm going to take my pre-washed broccoli from there. I'll just trim the little heads off, and we'll have these fluffy little buttons. A cup of each of the vegetables will be ample, I think, for today. Our next ingredient for the buttons and bows salad is onion, and I like to choose the red onion. It just gives more color. I just need 1 of those. And sometimes you can get these a little bit smaller, but this was what was available to me at the time. And so what I'll be doing is peeling the outer peel off of the onion, slicing it, and then forming it into rings. I will make the rings look like dainty little buttons for the salad by just putting them in the form of rings. Okay, next are radishes, and there are some choices of radishes too out there. Okay, and into a bowl for later combining for our salad. The next thing that we will be doing are tomatoes. I find a serrated knife works best on tomatoes because then it doesn't squish them. And so I just will make about 4, sometimes 5 slices out of these elongated cherry tomatoes. And then put my tomatoes in. Got it. According to your family's tastes and flavors that they like, you will choose the vegetables that work for your family. I would also add one of the small cans of the sliced black olives. And while this is going on, I'm placing the pot on for the pasta. And I'll be using, of course, bow pasta because we call it buttons and bows. It is generally less expensive to prepare a salad dressing yourself than to buy the purchased ones. I've used the olive oil. I chose a red wine vinegar. Also with this, I of course used the salt and pepper, minced garlic and chopped onion finely, a little bit of sugar, and I just combine all of that in a shaker and shake all of the ingredients together. And now to the boiling water, we'll add the bow pasta. Okay, because of the convenience cookware that we have these days, it's really easy. I love these big strainer spoons to use for stirring, and then as it gets to be the right texture that we want, it's so easy to strain it because you just simply pull this up, run cold water over it, and I just refrigerate it so that it's cool when it's time to put the salad together. To assemble the salad, I will simply place all of our vegetables, the medley of vegetables, all into a large bowl. And I put the vegetables in first because I want to put salad dressing down over all of them so that I'm sure that we get the flavor of our dressing all the way through. And lastly of the vegetables are our onion, and then we'll add this can of sliced black olives. And I'm not sure that I mentioned the lemon juice, but I also use some lemon in the dressing. We want that dressing to go down through our bouquet of veggies before we add the bows, because the bows will have a real tendency to soak up the dressing. And I'm going to just use about half of the pasta for this salad. Okay, ready to serve our salad. I've just chosen to serve it on some nice crisp lettuce leaves, buttons and bows.
To get a copy of Linda's cookbooks, please visit downhomesouthdakota.com.
Welcome back, and it's my privilege to introduce you to another friend, Chef John Gilbertson.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I am honored that you would agree to do this.
Well, no, thanks for inviting me. I love cooking with friends. So.
You know what?
What?
We've been friends a long time.
A long time. I can't wait to try your salad for lunch.
All right, and I'm looking forward to yours.
Hey, today we're going to be making a really cool grilled vegetable salad. Great for summer. Great to enjoy that proliferation of veggies that's coming out of the farmers markets or coming out of your garden. We're going to start with some green onions. And what I like to do with the green onions is get about 4 or 5 of them at a time, nip off the bottoms and nip off about 1 inch of the tops. And we'll set those over here. And when we're making a grilled vegetable salad, the thought process is that we're going to be cutting things exactly so they will fit on the grill and that they won't fall through the grill. So in some cases where we would be cutting vegetables up much smaller, in this case we're going to be cutting things in larger shapes and then possibly cutting them up again afterwards. So something like a zucchini, we're going to cut it into a shape that I call planks. And we can lay these right across the grill without having to worry about losing them through the grill. Something like onions, we're going to cut in large rings. And normally for a salad, we would never cut something this large, but we'll fabricate again after we get the stuff grilled up. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this salad. I'm going to grill some bread, which is a really, really cool way to stretch out a grilled vegetable salad. We're going to put in some odds and ends of some really nice French bread. Peppers, we're going to grill those too. I'm going to cut those into something that's similar to a plank. Also, nice big slices of peppers. And we have a few other vegetables that we're going to try to grill without falling through the grill themselves. So we're just going to leave these in large halves. Our fresh tomatoes that have been out of the garden about 25 minutes. And this is all of our stuff that we're going to be grilling. We also have some sections of carrots in larger pieces. We're going to hit this with some olive oil. And a little bit of salt, knowing that we can always season again afterwards. But just a little bit of salt to carry the flavor once we get to the grill. And this is a pretty simple preparation. We'll get another chance to cut it up again before we share it and eat together. So this is step one. We have a really nice Weber grill here, courtesy of Carl's, 41st Street. So here's our surprise ingredient, the grilled bread, which we've done before. We'll have our nice big pieces of peppers. And you see, we cut these so that nothing's going to fall through the grill. Here we have our planks of zucchini and our large slices of onions. And we're even going to grill some tomatoes up here. And all of this grill flavor is going to come back to us in the form of a salad. All right, we're going to open up our grill and take a look at what's going on under here. We got some really pretty sizzling roasted tomatoes. I'm going to take those off before they disintegrate. We have a couple cloves of garlic that we're going to put on right at the last minute here because we don't want those to burn and go through the grill. Our green onions, that's perfect, just like that. Our carrots are still cooking. Our onions are looking really nice with some nice grill marks on them. We're going to let those go for a little bit longer. Here's our zucchini squash, summer squash. We're going to turn that over. Our bread, surprise ingredient. perfect right there. And as soon as these peppers soften just a little bit, then we know they're ready. Now, you don't want your vegetables to be overcooked. You want to be able to identify them and still have a snap and a crunch to them, because this is a salad. And I've even had people tell me that when you do the grilled bread in the salad, that you don't even miss the chicken breast or the steak. So those of you that are looking for more vegetables in your diet, take note of that. And there we go. What a nice grill we got to use. Thanks to Carl's for letting us use this great grill. Oh, we're back inside the kitchen at Carl's. We have our beautiful grilled vegetables that now we're gonna put the finishing touches on and just get those into bite-sized portions. Here's our planks of zucchini. Here's our planks of peppers. Here's our carrots. The bread we're gonna cut up again. Bread is just a perfect vehicle to spread that grill flavor, that summer grill flavor. Kind of a surprising ingredient again, but the proof is in the tasting, and we'll find that out real soon. I'm just going to cut these carrots up a little bit more than they were already cut up. The tomatoes, we're just going to trim up a little bit. Now the zucchini planks, we're going to cut those into a large julienne style cut. The green onions, the scallions that we roasted, we're going to cut those up a lot smaller and just roll the knife through those. The garlic, of course, we're going to cut up small. And the peppers in another julienne style cut. It's going to be very, very attractive when we finish this. It's going to really appeal to the eye, and hopefully when we're done making a dish like this, it just says, hey, I'm ready to eat, let's go. And then we're going to throw in some fresh basil at the very last minute. If you have a basil plant, that's really the way to go. For the price of buying a bunch of basil at the store in the early summer, you can buy a whole plant of basil. There is no part on the basil plant that you cannot use. We have some fresh basil here, and we just took off the tops of these when we harvested these this morning, and we're going to go ahead and just chop up the flowers. Sorry for the honeybees, they won't get this today. This is just going to go right into our food. And our grilled bread. So think of this maybe even as now it makes sense to think of this as kind of a crouton element to your grilled salad. This is also can be a roasted vegetable salad. You can do exactly the same thing using the oven in the summer, or if you don't have a grill, we don't want you to keep from enjoying good food. And we're going to give it a toss, and we're going to pour that out right on top, and we're going to be careful to get some of that red stuff on top, because the tomatoes, and because that's the real visual treat of this. Great grilled vegetable salad, low on sodium. A great way to enjoy your summer vegetables.
Thank you, John, for being here. We can always count on you with something unique and unexpected.
Oh, well, I think that's a compliment, isn't it?
It's meant to be.
All right,
yeah.
well, good.
Now I think we ought to try it.
I'll give you permission to do anything you want.
All right. We want you to come back sometime, too.
Sure.
Dig in.
All right.
I'm going to try one of these pieces of bread.
Really good, thank you.
Oh, looks very nice. And it's real easy to do things in a different way, isn't it? And have it use the same ingredients and give it a new look.